Inferior apps, you probably haven't heard that term used. It's more better known as app clips and instant apps. That is a QR code. You can't scan it because you've got to be quick. All right, who am I? I'm Luke. I currently work at Liven, hospitality tech, point of sale, inventory, KDS, lots of different acronyms. Basically, restaurants and hospitality apps and loyalty apps. Previously worked at Domain, property tech, not the furniture store. Right, so yeah, that's my joke. One person laughed. There's no more jokes, it's fine. So, what is it? App clip. To do the definition thing, app clip is a small part of your app that's discoverable. App clips and instant apps are about giving a native app experience. See previous episodes of Perth mobile developer, on whether native is good or bad, but that's not what this talk is about, because it's been done to death. Personally, at Liven, we have fairly conclusive metrics that native apps are better. This is probably because it's a loyalty app. It's installed on your phone. It just kind of makes sense. So yeah, an app clip is a small part of your app that's discoverable the moment it's needed and lets people complete a quick task from your app. This isn't 100% true, and we'll get to the different use cases. But for Liven, it's important part of way to redeem your loyalty rewards and to pay. So yeah, why did we build an app? We already had an existing code base. I thought it made sense at the time because it'll be easy, right? No. One of the reasons why I think app clips and instant apps haven't been picked up is because it's fairly complex to add to an existing code base. For Liven, lots of restaurants want their own app, but yeah, surprise, surprise, they don't want to pay for that because we all know here it takes maintenance, takes servers and all that sort of stuff. There's also the issue of the onboarding to the App Store and then downloading it for the user. It's I've been a native app developer for a while now, and even for me, it's like, I don't really want another app on my App Store. So I think especially the download fatigue has definitely set in, and app clips can help with this. So demo time. Oh, look at that. All right. So that was too quick. There we go. So you can see there, you scan a QR code and it comes up like there. The image, the title and the subtitle and open, you can customize, that's it. And this is I've started with the best demo, of course. This is how it behaves, and it just works, right? It opens up the app, it's lovely. So this is a native app now, and you've earned, so you're scanning your receipt. You've paid with cash or you paid with card. It's at the bottom of a receipt, and you claim your rewards. So you spent X dollars, and you get rewarded with it. Think, Woolworths rewards, that sort of thing. Launching a URL with an app clip, if anyone's familiar, kind of works like universal app links, but not. For instant app, it's good. For instant app, it's great. It works. It just works. It goes straight into the app, and there's no kind of modal screen that you have to open up another tab, because that's what it's about, reducing those extra taps. It turns out instant apps are not instant. Most of the time, they go straight into what you saw there, but there's a certain, because of the legacy, instant apps date back to 2016. There's a few times where it doesn't, and there's a setting buried deep down in your phone where you have to turn instant apps off, and there's no documentation. I was talking to someone before, and they're like, yeah, what's with instant apps? They're not documented. I'm like, oh wow, you could just do my talk. So yeah, the instant app, upgrade web links, instant apps. So as far as I can tell, more recent iOS versions, it actually prompts you if you haven't seen one before. But chances are 2016 you might have seen one and forgotten about it. It stores to your Google your Google account. So fun times. The other one is Universal links with an app clip. This one is another use case for us. This is the purchase. So this is an existing URL we had before. It's a website, and you can download and you can purchase brand dollars. What are brand dollars, you ask? You can pre-purchase food from a store, from a restaurant, and you get it discounted. It came about in COVID because restaurants needed to sell food because they weren't open, and we're kind of still running with it and still working, and we've kind of expanded it into a whole thing now. Okay, again, another use case. So we're paying on point of sales terminal, and we've got a QR code. It comes up, it opens up the modal. It just works. Native app goes straight in. The good thing for us that you sign in, and you can pay, and then because chances are you've redeemed the dollars before and you've already got the app on your phone, and then when you go to pay, you've already got it on there, so that you're not downloading anything. So 10 points for us, right? Again, from Apple. If you're adding an app clip to an existing app, set aside time to refactor the app's code base to be modular and share code between your app. I feel like this is just a kick in the face by Apple, because we all write modular and perfectly written code, right? Yeah? Nod? Yeah. No. So there was a whole bunch of refactoring that we had to do because the size limits. You can see Swift Package Manager there. We've kind of split up our UI and that sort of thing, so we can kind of pull the dependencies that we and include only the things that we need. It also helps from a testing perspective. You're only testing the thing that's been shown in the app clip. The changes in behavior, you can see here where I'm using some compiler flags to say is app clip, is not. This particular example is, it's only including these 2 lines here, is not in the app clip, then that one is in the app clip. It's just true, false. But using the compiler flags and build flavors, if you're an Android, it means you can completely exclude a whole section of code. The danger is with this is you end up your code base littered with a whole bunch of if-defs. So it's good to consolidate it, and then this is one of the mechanisms that I did to kind of get this to happen. The challenges. It requires 15 megabytes sounds like a lot, but once you add in, tracking frameworks, because, marketing team always want lots of them, you can quickly, Firebase itself is a couple of meg. You quickly way up in there, and again, hidden in the documentation, iOS 16, iOS 17, we can go to 50 meg, right? No. If you want these features of the QR code that I just showed just then, you can't be 50 meg. You've got to be 15, and even if you support iOS 17 or later. So it doesn't exactly say that in the documentation. Guess who learnt the hard way? Yeah, this is one of the challenges. So luckily, I know why they're called app clips and not instant apps, because that case there, I clicked on the link on reminders, and it opened up in the browser. So it didn't go straight into the app. So there's a weird kind of UX pattern happening here. And I think, personally, it's one of the reasons why we haven't seen app clips take off as well as they should. We can live with this because, we're scanning QR codes and it's okay, but there could be certain situations where this could, kick you in the ass. So universal links. It behaves like a universal link most of the time, but except for depending on which app you're tapping it from. So back here, this is a message my wife. I always send her test links. She loves it. If I tap that, it'll open the app clip. So again, the inconsistent behavior is kind of weird, but it's one of those things like once you know it, it's fine. But for users, everyday users, yeah, it causes a bit of confusion. Again, here, where you've opened up in the browser, if you tap on this, which some people might know as universal links, that opens up the app. That opens up the app clip if you have it installed, or if you don't have it installed. The first time you land on this page, it shows this modal. So you can see where it's getting kind of complicated if you're trying to create a consistent experience. Developers. Testing app clips is also not fun. There's a thing hidden way in the developer settings for iOS, and it's called local experiences. Because of the nature of app clips, they install automatically. You have to pre-install them and then create the rules. And that's what the local experiences is. It's saying, you prefix the URL and then you say which app ID you want it to open. I found it really confusing. Again, I'm going to blame the documentation. There's a whole bunch of Apple developers in the forums going, what's going on here? It's kind of interesting. And again, I was talking to somebody with the instant apps. It's like it seems to be a forgotten thing, but the use case we have is nice, and I'm quite proud of it. So Android, it is better because it's its own binary, but that's also bad because there was we had a weird thing. We had a load of errors firing off after we submitted the instant app to the Play Store, and then all of a sudden we were like, what is there's a bunch of out of our normal countries, and it was from the Play Store testing the instant app, and it was running it through a bunch of simulators, but for some reason they were running it as its own binary and it wasn't running as an instant app, so our checking was all behaving all weird and we were getting kind of again, obviously that's not documented, but fun. So questions.
So say like you have that original app and it requires authorization. If you're going to download the instant app, how's the authorization flow working?
Depending on where you're storing the authorization, it should just work. But exactly. Yeah. So the app clip permissions, it doesn't share the keychain with the main app clip. With the main app. Doesn't share the keychain, so you have to write to.
Is it really optimization? Hey.
Yeah, so it's possible to stay logged in, but you have to do specific stuff to handle it.
You said that one of the big headaches you had was refactoring your code so that it would work for your main app and then share it across to the app clips. Did you find that any business logic caused you headaches? I know when working on one, the idea was to keep it as streamlined as possible, but we had where you had to log in to the app to actually do anything. Did you find any issues along those lines?
The app clip has to behave as much like the main app as possible. You don't want to split logic, but it's fine because you write tests for all of your code anyway, right?
But does that mean, yes, of course. Does that mean though you're changing business logic then maybe to make the app clip a better experience for the user?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're effectively making two apps in the one. Yeah. You try and limit it as much as possible in that, like I said, using compiler flags and saying is an overlapping function that says is app clip, and then it'll, in that example, it removes all of the login options and we just have the one. Try and limit it to that sort of thing.
So apparently you don't have to install the app clip. So does that mean, so the app isn't installed, you can somehow, like how would you send the app to the user and have it magically installed?
So when you scan it and you tap on that yellow pill, that installs it.
So you tap what?
It installs automatically when you launch it. Like that was it being installed in those
off a website or something, was it?
No. So it comes from the App Store, but it loads automatically. You don't have to tap Get App.
So what would the user do that would cause the app clip to appear?
Scan a QR code, download, go to the browser, open up.
Open a link.
Open the link, yeah.
Right. So what would be the classic use case?
So our example is it prints a QR bottom of receipt, they scan the code, and then they can redeem the rewards that they received. And then so that means that because they've got the app clip installed, when they go to pay again, they can use those reward dollars because they're stored inside the app clip, or if they download the full app inside the full app.
For the universal links, so when you scan the code, you click on the code, how does the system know that an instant app is available?
So site association files and asset links. So on the URLs, you provide w_well-known, and it creates rules. And similar to how a universal link works, you provide rules, and then inside the App Store, once you add an app clip, you get advanced app experiences, and then you enter them in there, and it's literally URL paths that you can create rules for, and you can show those different images and the different titles and stuff. So a blend of JSON, it's complicated.
Thanks, Luke. At the risk of opening the web versus native debate, which you said you didn't want to do, apologies in advance, do you think that the overhead of maintaining an app clip, particularly in an existing code base like you've just kind of described, do you think that additional overhead is worth it from a business sense compared to just having a web page to consume these rewards in the Liven use case?
Talk to me in 6 months and we'll see.
Sure.
I think so, because you can buy the brand dollar rewards through a web page, but we've found people are more engaged through the native app, and it might be because we're the anonymous tracking more so on the web, and that our tracking might be telling our own story, but as far as we can tell, it appears that the app clip is better at converting.
So you mentioned before it's been there since 2016, so it's been about a few years. I've never heard of it. Most people haven't heard of it. It sounds like a great concept. How do you see the future? How do you see the next 5 years?
When we added it for the Android app, we were worried that Google at Google I/O would just pull it. So because the documentation hasn't been maintained, I've got a feeling that it will get pulled. But for us, it's a mechanism that kind of helps onboard a user. We'll see.
To kick off a app clip, is it only through QR code? You do it through beacons or NFC tags or location based?
Yeah, so that was the big list. You can NFC tag as the other use case. There's also I forget what they call it, app clip codes that you definitely wouldn't have heard of. It's basically just a QR code. But for us, it's not cross-platform, so we just ignored it. But yeah, there's other ways that you get that better experience. And NFC is one of them.
Another round of applause, please.
Cheers.